Gotta let them know I'm uncontrollable.
Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading video. This is going to be quite different from usual. We're not going to be looking over the usual stocks or the penny stocks. Instead, we're going to be looking at Forex and currency pairs. Right now we're on Euro USD. But the reason for this is I know how to trade futures, I know how to trade stocks, but I've never really touched the Forex market, and I think it's good to be able to know how to work in all markets, not including cryptos. It's a newer one on the newer side. Don't really have much interest on the crypto side, so I'm only going to be focusing on these three. And right now, Forex is the only one left that I haven't really experienced, so I'm going to spend a week, most likely just this week, trading it. However, if it works well, who knows, I might do it on the side with some other stuff. But we'll get straight into it. I've only tested 2 currency pairs so far. It's taken about 13 hours or so. I only started yesterday evening, so it's taken up quite a lot of time just to back test 2 sets of currency pairs. We've got another 3 to get into testing. We'll hopefully have those done by Monday. If not, I would at least have 4 done by Monday. And I'll be able to do the other one most likely before market opens. That's one actually difference with the Forex market is it's basically open up 24/5, so it'll be open Monday to Friday. Actually open Sunday night. However, I will just be trading the normal time, so I'll just be trading it from the 9:30 to 4 o'clock, so normal market times, or at least stock market times. So I have found through backtesting these that I will be looking at kind of different time frames and trading them off different deviations and stuff like that. So I will be sticking to my normal trading strategy, in the sense I'll be trading off these deviations. Same setup. As you can see, the only difference is we don't actually have volume on right now. I will probably add that on. For some reason it just didn't pop up when I added all my studies on. So we'll get straight into it, and I'll be kind of showing you the time frames I'm looking at, entries and exits, kind of just like the strategy overall. So to get straight into it, we'll just be using TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim, so we can use the backtesting feature, which is on demand. So I am on a live account. It's virtual because that's what you go into to backtest. So if you're trying to backtest yourself, you need to log into your live account and then click on demand. This button here, it'll probably be over in this corner, which I don't think you can see actually. I think that thing's blocking that I have when I'm recording, but yeah, it'll just be on the right side of your screen, and you just click on demand and it lets you go back into live market conditions, which you need to backtest standard deviations as they move after every candle. But right now, so I said I backtested Euro USD and Great British Pound USD, and Euro USD, I found that the 1 hour, the 15 minute and the 1 minute charts work. On the 1 hour and 15 minutes you can use any deviation, they seem to work quite well. However, if you're trading the 1 minute chart, I only like trading the 3rd deviation. And we've now also got different price targets, so you'll see, we'll get straight into it. Right now we're backtesting February the 4th 2021 at 11 AM, and this is where we would have got entered into this trade. It hit this first deviation, so we have our entry out, as you can see, for 1.19682. So this would be our entry, as we're just looking to buy coming into this deviation. And then what we can do is set our price target. So I found on the 1 hour and the 15 minute chart that 30 pips seems to work quite well. And if you're new to Forex, pips are basically the 4th decimal. So you can see we got 1.19782. Every time this 8 moves, it's a pip. So if it goes up to 1979.93, it's not gone up a pip. However, if it goes to 1979, then it's gone up 1 pip. And we're looking for a 30 pip move in either direction for this trade. So as you can see, we'll be looking for 30 pips, which is just around this area here. So what we'll do is we'll place a green line here, and we'll just have this as a TP for signaling take profit. And then we'll have to do the same in the other direction. So we have a stop loss. So if it goes against us, you know, we're managed on that risk side, which is an important thing. Even if you're looking just to try out a different market, always have the risk management there, because otherwise it's never going to work. So this would be our maximum stop loss of 30 pips. So now what we can do is go forward in time. We can just go to the 5th, because with this strategy it's not going to be like the penny stocks where we're looking to make our trade in 30 seconds or so, because on that side we were kind of scalping. However, on the forex market it's not as volatile, so we're going to be looking more on a longer term frame. So we may be buying sometimes, let's say at 10 AM, and maybe not selling until we're asleep at 3 AM, but we'll have these automatic sell orders out, so we won't need to obviously be up at 3 AM to take the sell order. So this is our original entry. You can see it kind of pulled back. It pulled back a nice, probably like 5 or so pips, nearly 10 pips it pulled back, and then carried on down, and then kind of just consolidated around here, pulled back a bit more, but you can see actually if I pull this up that we're actually on a divergence. So you know, if you're watching it live anyway, it's starting to look weaker. We're making lower lows but higher lows on the RSI. So it already showed us those weakness, but it doesn't matter, because at this point we're not going to be watching live. This is, you know, near enough midnight at this time. So we're already in the trade. We have our profit target, we have our stop loss, and then, you know, it's moved up here. And this is the only problem we might have had with this trade, is right now here we're up 18 pips. Around this 15 pip mark I'd be looking to have a change to have my stop loss would move to break even, and I'll probably take some of the profit off the table to lock in some profit. So now we've hit this mark, our stop loss moves to our entry, so that's now there, and here we've maybe sold like a third or something, just like a small size of our position, just to guarantee we can lock in some profits. So that's now happened. Let's say we've locked in some profits. As you can see, now we've actually had this pullback, which it's unclear if we would have actually got filled, because as you can see around our entry, it's literally pulled dead onto our entry. So I don't know if it would have triggered, because it was most likely was only there for a second or so. So if it did trigger, we kind of got unlucky. If it didn't trigger, all good, we can carry on with the trade. But if it did trigger, we got out with some profit, and we had our, you know, risk reduced to break even. So either way, it would have been a winning trade. And now we're waiting for the next break, and it carries on and comes into this take profit, which is our 30 pips we were looking for. And again, we could have sold our whole position, or maybe you just want to get out like another two-thirds or one-third of it and have the rest on a trading stock. Personally, while I'm just testing it out, I'm going to probably take a third off here and move my stop to break even. And then just take the rest of my size off at 30 pips. As I'm just testing it, I'm not interested in getting it super accurate, because I just don't have the time to test it, especially by Monday. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's the overall strategy. It's still the same kind of thing on the stock side. However, we're not looking to do so much of the averaging. And on the longer time frame, I mean, that's pretty easy. You just enter and you leave it to its stuff. You will set out orders to automate all this, so you don't even have to look at it. The only part that's now going to be a bit different is if you go over to the 1 minute chart, because with that, this is what we're looking more for, like the smaller moves. And on this one, we're not looking for the 30 pip moves as we are on the 1 hour and the 15 minute. We're going to be looking more for a 10 pip or so move. So let me quickly open up my testing, and we can go straight here. You see I've tested these ones so far. Euro USD February, I've tested all of February, and we'll go to the 1 minute 30 deviation so we can see what trades we would have taken. And the only problem I have found is we just don't seem to be making that many trades, and that's why if we were going to do this properly, we would have to incorporate some other kind of strategies. Right now we're just doing the deviations, so you know, we've got a limited amount of entries because there's only so many times it hits a deviation. So we'll do this one for a example. So on the 1 minute on the 16th, so we can go to the 16th and look at this and how we would have done it. as I said, on the 1 minute I'm only looking to trade the third deviations, as then it shows me that it's super oversold or super overbought, at least on a 1 day time frame. So again, we'll put our entry here, and we're looking for the same thing. Blue for entry. I won't change the names again because you should have a picture. And we'll change, actually we'll do the targets again. So again, I'm looking for around 10 pips 10 pips on both the stop loss side and the take profit side, because it is a smaller intraday move when we're just not going to get as big as moves, and if we're looking for 30 pips we're probably going to lose more than we'll win. So if we go down, let's say 10 pips, which will be here, this will be our stop loss, and again you'll automate this, or if you're looking to trade something like this you'll probably have this automated. And the same to the upside, we'll look for 10, which will be here. So we can do that again, that should be green. Okay, so these are our 10 pips either side stop loss, and then we can go forward in time and see how this would have happened. So we'll just go to, let's say, midday, 12:50. We can see how this goes. Okay, so bounced off, you can see it went down a bit lower below that green deviation, and this is actually, we'll look at the deviations. Green deviations all the way down here, and this is why it's important to go back in time to test it, because they move. But either way, we would have entered here, it pulled down, I think it was about 3 pips or so. Yeah, moved down 4 pips, so nothing too big. Pulled back up again about 4 pips probably. We'll just hold this tool. Came up 4 pips and then pulled back again 2 pips. I mean, these are small movements. And then it did a nice push up to this 10 point or 10 pip move, and this is where we would be looking to just lock in some profits. So much as this is a 1 minute, I don't know if I'd be doing so much the moving to break even, or if I would be looking to take off maybe half the size at this 10 pip move and then move my stop to break even, and then look to take the rest off at a 15 and 20 pip move, which would have worked in this case. But you know, it might not always work, and when I test other months I'll try and back test maybe January as well, and maybe some March. We'll see if it would have worked on different time frames, because I've only traded back tested 1 month so far. But you can see it's the same kind of thing: entry, stop loss, take profit. And then if you're someone who likes trading stops, you could have a trading stop. And if you had a trading stop, you most likely would have maybe stopped out around this area, or if it was quite a lenient stop loss, maybe around this area. Just kind of depends on how you have it, but I'll probably just be looking for hard take profits. I won't be using any trailing, just because, again, I most likely won't be staying with Forex after this. It's just more learning the market a bit more. So that's it on the Euro USD. And again, the time frames are the 1 hour, the 15 minute, and the 1 minute. And on the 1 hour and 15 minute, I'm looking at all deviations. On the 1 minute, only the third deviation, which in this case is my green deviation. And again, 30 pips on all the time frames apart for this 1 minute, where we're looking for a 10 pip move. Now we'll quickly go over to Great British Pound USD. As this one, we're looking for the same strategy, however it's a bit different, as all Forex players kind of trade differently. That's why you have to back test them all independently, because they'll react differently. So on this one, the 1 hour deviations didn't hold that strong. There was way more losers than winners, so I won't be looking to trade it. However, I did find that the 15 minute, the 5 minute and the 1 minute all held quite strong. The 15 minute and the 5 minute, we're looking for a second or third deviation. We're not looking to trade the first deviation. And on the 1 minute, we're only looking to trade the third deviation. The same on the Euro USD. So yeah, on Great British Pound / USD, we're not looking for any first deviation trades. If it's on the first deviation, just ignore. Okay, so now I'll go over an example on Great British Pound USD, and for this, again, we're looking at the 15 minute, 5 minute and 1 minute time frames. So we'll use a 5 minute, 5 day in this example, and I believe we had a test on the, or as an example on the first. Don't remember what time, but we'll get straight to it. Oh, actually, I already have it laid out. That's handy. I didn't delete it. The only thing I found the problem actually with Great British Pound USD is that it seemed to be the same trade on all time frames. You can see we've got the 1st, 2nd and 25th on the 5 day, 5 minute. but we have the same trades on the 15. So this one looks like it won't have many trades because they seem to be the same ones on all deviations. I do have to backtest this one on the 1 day 1 minute a bit more, so hopefully that provides a lot more opportunities. But yeah, so February 1st 2021 we would have had a trade at 10.50, so let's go down to 10.50. And we can see exactly how this would have worked. The same kind of thing, and on this one the same kind of profit targets. So this really is glitchy when I'm recording. 10.50. Hopefully it now goes back. So yeah, while this loads anyway, same kind of thing. We're looking for a 30 pip move on the 15 minute and the 5 minute. However, a 10 to 20 pip move on the 1 minute time frame. So okay, we need to go 5 minutes into the future, and we should be entered into this trade. As you'll see, this deviation will move up to this green bar. This is really laggy, it's not fun. Can it just load? Okay, cool. So as you can see, okay, oh never mind, actually our entry is here. Maybe it was a bit different than if you're looking on a different time frame. So that would be our entry. Now what we can do is we'll just skip forward just to the next day, just so all the candles are loaded in, and we can then look what we want to do. Looking at the wrong bit. So here we would have entered again this trade at 10.50. And this one was a bit more of a picture perfect one. It seemed to bounce right away. Let's see what our max drawdown would have been, you know, a pip. So in this case we didn't really need that. Well, we had that automated stop loss, but we didn't really need it. It worked right away. However, obviously you want the stop loss there just to be safe. And then it instantly came out, and again we'd be looking for the 30 pip as it's a 5 minute trade. So here we have the profit target, so you can see 30 pips. So you see exactly 30 pips at that profit target, and exactly 15 pips at that profit target. So on this one, again, take some risk off at that 15, and then have a break-even stop down here. This time it carried on, consolidated kind of around this area, and then did its next push to the 30 pip move. Again, hopefully we would have got filled because it's literally touching the candle. Maybe, you know, if we were watching this live, which is quite possible as it was 1:20, we could, or 1:20 PM, we could have, if we saw it pull back, just manually lock in the profits, and yeah, and then yeah, came back to the break even and then pushed up higher. But again, we would have not been anywhere near that trade after them. But again, it's the same kind of thing. On the 15 5 minute, we're looking 15 minute and the 5 minute, we're looking for 30 pip move just like before. And the 1 day 1 minute, we're looking for a 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 pip move. So the entry is the same. We're literally just entering dead on the deviation, no sorts of averaging, or at least not right now. The only thing you kind of need to note down is the deviations you're looking to trade, and like your kind of profit and stop loss targets. So again, I'll go through it one more time because I'm kind of done for everything to go through. That's all I'm looking for. Again, I need to test these other pairs. I'll try and have these done by Monday. We only got 3 more to go, so hopefully I can have those done, but they're taking around 8 hours each to complete, so it's taken quite a while. And obviously I'll be looking if it is coming in live or it pulls back a bit. Let's say I get into a trade, so actually here, this was actually a great example. So we got in on where our deviation was, but at the same time we're having a divergence, and so that may lead me maybe to increase a bit of size, or may mean if it did pull back further, I'm happy to average in a bit more size. But maybe still have the same 30 pip stop loss, or 30 pip stop loss from where our new average is. But yeah, so obviously these things you can't do in a weekend. You can't say, oh, divergence at this much, you just don't have the time. So Right now I'm just looking off the main deviation, so it probably won't be all that many trades, and that's why I'll be looking maybe on other things to add to just create trades more intraday, because most of these looks like they're going to be swing trades, and they'll last about 12 to 24 hours to get in our profits, apart from the 1 day 1 minute trades. So that's kind of it on the strategy side. Buying straight on the deviation, 30 pip stop, 30 pip take profit, and that's a bit about it. And yeah, break even stop once we hit around a 15 pip move on the bigger time frames. So again, yeah, I'll go over the bigger time frames and I'll update you, or not the bigger time frames, the other forex pairs, and I'll update you because there are some slight differences. And again, just note, if you are looking to do this yourself, remember Euro USD 1 hour, 15 minute, and 1 minute. On the 1 hour and the 15 minute, we can trade all deviations. But on the 1 minute, I'm only looking at the third deviation, and on the Great British Pound to USD, we're looking for 15 minute, 5 minute, and 1 day 1 minute time frames, and second deviation or higher on all of them, apart from the 1 minute, where we're again only looking at the third deviation. So I hope that helps. Again, I'll be trading it in. I'll be doing recaps every day this week, or in the new week, on how this strategy is kind of working within the week, and if we're even getting many trades, because we might not even see ourselves getting many trades, just because they seem to be quite predictable. You can just set your alerts, and what I may do is trade the stocks during the day, have my alerts out, and then if it comes to it, trade it, and then I'll add a recap on the forex side, and I'll look to see what else I can add to the strategy to make a few more trades happen. Try and get at least 1 or 2 trades a day, no matter what. But that's it for the recap. Hope to see you, or like on the strategy, and hope to see you. I'll probably have another one up tomorrow on the other tickers or on the other pairs, and that's it. Peace.